You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie, and I'm proud of the life I have, surrounded by military and aware just how big the world really is. I have a unique perspective on life and the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View. Alright, it's Jessie. How's everybody doing out there today? Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. And yes, I apologize. There was no POV last night, for those of you keeping track. Why? Well, some things had gone sideways, and I had an episode of Combo Science, and I produce it, that really needed to hit the airwaves, so I decided it could take my slot for one night. So what can I say? That's the way the cookie crumbled last night. I do apologize. However, there is a lot going on today. I am back with a vengeance, my friends. Yes. Now, I want to talk about a couple other things that I don't always talk about. However, they are important to me, and I think to everyone in my position. Excuse me. Just goes to show what happens when I forget my allergy meds today. Turkey is jailing journalists. Now, this is important because it goes to freedom of speech. Now, we're going to get to Excuse me. My car was covered in pollen today. I apologize. It's been one of those days. Now, we are going to get to North Korea and the Iran nuke deal and everything else going on, but I wanted to discuss this first. Because when you take away journalism and freedom of speech, you invite dictatorship, if there wasn't already one there before. And if there was one, you invite intense brutality. So they didn't convict one journalist. They convicted 14 staff members of a secular nationalist newspaper. And they were found guilty on charges of aiding a terrorist organization. Now, the authorities couldn't prove claims of malpractice and connections to multiple outlawed organizations at court. But Turkey's political climate demanded a sentencing. So they used a very vague law clause of aiding a terrorist organization, which in Turkey, remember, the Kurds are considered terrorists. And this paper, I don't know what their real crime was. They presented their final defense in court on Tuesday, and they've already been in prison for more than 500 days. 500. So we're not talking, they were held for 10 days without a trial. They've been held for more than a year. Almost 2. Now, journalists should have the right to speak to anyone they want to get their story, and opinion commentators should as well. The right should not be infringed. Unfortunately, Reporters Without Borders Freedom of the Press Index ranks Turkey 157 out of 180. Yeah, you learned a couple things new today. And approximately 150 media outlets have been shut down since the coup attempt a little over a year ago. And we can only expect this. Now remember, there's an American journalist being held in Turkey as well. And I haven't seen what, if any, sentence has been handed down for him. Now, it's one of those situations, the judge did order the release of the chairman of the newspaper, Akin Atali, who'd been in jail for 500 days despite his conviction. And his only goal in journalism is to tell the truth. And the chairman says they were taken hostage and the newspaper was demanded as ransom. But he added this newspaper cannot be bought with... Alright. I've had it. We are going to play just a little bit of bumper music, and I'm going to get these allergies under control. So... we are going to, let's see, what are we going to do? We're going to take a brief commercial break. Yeah, just a real quick one. There we go. I found a 2-minute commercial break. We are going to take a brief commercial break, and I will get these allergies under control, and I will see you on the other side.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
All right. Thank you all for your patience, and I apologize for the chaos that my allergies have caused tonight. Now that we got that out of the way, back to Turkey. What were these people arrested under? They were arrested because they covered organizations that Turkey views as terror groups. Kurdistan Workers' Party, the ultra-left People's Liberation Party, and the Gulen Movement, which was blamed for the 2016 failed coup. And it is a serious blow to freedom, to press freedom. They didn't arrest and convict little people like me. they went after the big names in Turkish journalism. And that, including in that, was an investigative reporter by the name of Ahmet Sik. Sik is one of Turkey's most inclusive critics of the Gulen movement and has written books on the topic and things like that. So it's one of those things, they didn't all get the same sentence, but they were arrested and tried based on the topics they'd covered. Now, Amnesty International's representative in the country has lambasted the trial, saying the prosecution failed to produce a shred of evidence of any criminal wrongdoing. And he said that the sentences was politically motivated, intended to instill fear and silence any form of dissent. These aren't the first journalists behind bars. There are 160 others, most of whom were arrested under the state of emergency imposed after the July 2016 coup attempt. So we're coming up on 2 years, friends. I don't know if those others have had trials or if they were just thrown in jail and throw away the key. But this was something that I caught just as I was coming on the air that I wanted to make a point about, because I depend on the First Amendment here in the United States of America to do my show. I don't have to clear my topics with anybody. There isn't anybody watching over my shoulder to make sure I'm saying the right things or only what the government wants me to say. Even station management's like, it's your show, it's your airtime. I mean, there's a couple things. I'm not allowed to call for assassination of a head of government. Okay. I can call them names if I choose to. Trust me. Quackers hasn't gone anywhere. And we've always got the chipmunk over in Syria, otherwise known as Assad. And of course, Toast Kitty's always hanging around somewhere. So, I'm free to do what I want with this airtime, which is an amazing thing. But when I see journalists from other countries getting jailed for things I would do myself, I feel I had to speak out. All right. Back to the regularly scheduled upcoming North Korea Summit conversation and the Iran nuclear deal. Yep, there's the show prep. Now, for those of you who don't quite get why I'm bringing this summit when no date has been announced, no date has been announced for talks between Kim Jong-un and the United States. There is a summit taking place between North and South Korea, and it's imminent. It is imminent. In fact, they opened the press center for the Inter-Korean Summit. We are talking, it's in the Korean International Exhibition Center. It's nearly equivalent to a football stadium and has over 1,000 seats in the main briefing room. It will run from Thursday, yes, Thursday until Saturday morning. The summit between President Moon and Kim Jong-un is due to take place on Friday. There's about 550 seats for local press and 360 have been given to foreign media. And there's approximately 150 extra seats. All media briefings are regarding the summit will be provided with simultaneous interpretation in 9 different languages, including English, Chinese, Spanish, and Arabic. I find it fascinating that a North-South Korean summit is being translated into Arabic. Does that sound a little off to you? Because it sure does to me. There will be a total of 2,850 media personnel from 460 outlets in 41 countries have formally signed up to join the international crew to cover the historic event. That's a lot. That is a lot. And this is just for the summit between North and South Korea. If this was the U.S. president, it's all we would be seeing on the news. Now, thankfully, I don't cover U.S. politics if I can avoid them. So, let's talk about where. It's going to be at the Truce Village of Panmunjom, which is definitely a vestige of the Cold War. Panmunjom is 50 kilometers north of Seoul. It's the place where the ceasefire or armistice was signed at the end of the Korean War. Like I said, they are still technically at war because there was no peace treaty. Now they are going to meet at a place called the Peace House in the southern part of Panmunjom, inside the DMZ. What is historic about this? Kim Jong-un will become the first North Korean ruler to cross the border into South Korea since the war. They are not meeting at the buildings along the border where no one had to leave their home country, because literally the middle of the table was sitting on the border. I can only imagine the tension going on at Panmunjom right now. And this place has never been quiet, but it is. And don't forget, last year a North Korean soldier defected to the south via what's known as the demilitarized zone or the joint security area. It's a small strip of land in the Truce Village. And it's definitely the dividing of this land symbolizes the tragic history of the divided nation. This summit will be the first held at Panmunjom. The 2 previous summits in 2000 and 2007 took place in Pyongyang. Now, South and North Korea have 2 buildings each in Panmunjom, conference buildings that serve as venues for inter-Korean talks and liaison offices. The South did recently finish renovating the Peace House to accommodate the North Korean delegates. Peace House, now, you know when you're looking at those pictures of the DMZ? It's the building you don't see behind you. I've seen pictures of it and actually walked through it because I've been to the DMZ, but when you are a tourist on the American side, you are forbidden from taking pictures of it. You have to keep your cameras pointed towards the north. Now, I've seen pictures of it that were taken from the North Korean side, so there are pictures out there. And there's a new oval table sitting in the center of the main conference room for the summit. So it's going to be interesting how this happens. I don't know. No one knows how Kim Jong-un is going to cross the border. It could be a car or he could come on foot. But who knows? By the way, the building numbers at the DMZ are T1, T2, and T3, and they're the ones that straddle the border. T stands for temporary. They've been there for 50 years. So this could be interesting. And they at least have reopened the border hotline and even set up a new hotline in their leaders' offices. There's supposed to be a test call in the next couple of days. It will be the first time the leaders have ever spoken on the phone to each other. I'd love to be a fly on that wall. Now, as for those of you who don't know what a big deal summits are, they are huge, huge, huge. All right. 18 years ago, South Korean President Kim Dae-jung traveled to Pyongyang for a conference with Kim Jong-un's dad, Kim Jong-il. Well, Kim Dae-jung won a Nobel Peace Prize. Even though nothing meaningful came out of that summit. So this summit could be a big nothing burger, or it could be the start of something. The summit was an outgrowth of what they call sunshine policy. And basically, decades of confrontation had achieved nothing but stalemate. So they started exchanging dialogue, and eventually they had something called the Kaesong Industrial Complex. And I actually was privileged to visit it while it was in operation. It's on the North Korean side of the border. But the laborers are from North Korea. Actually, I didn't visit the complex itself. I visited a shop that was supplied by the complex and was able to purchase a couple of North Korean items. And it was pretty fascinating. And so the technology and the materials were supplied by the South, and the workers were supplied by the North. And this went on for a number of years until the previous Korean president closed it. And it was one of those things that it was actually a sign of hope on the peninsula. And it was one of those, maybe they could eventually get along. When they shut down the Kaesong Industrial Complex, and the rockets and the nuclear tests and everything started to fly, I, for one, took a deep breath and said, is this the beginning of the end? Thankfully, cooler heads have prevailed. While the complex still stands empty, and the border is no less tense, I certainly wouldn't want to be a soldier guarding that border. The North did come to the Olympics held in South Korea. Now, some of the Korean locals said that President Moon gave too much, and they were calling it the Pyongyang Olympics instead of Pyeongchang Olympics. Who knows? I'd like for this summit to actually produce something of consequence. Maybe they're not ready for a peace treaty. But could they open the industrial complex once again under the old rules? It's definitely something to ponder. All right, folks, I have come up on the regular commercial break, and I thank you so much for bearing with me. While I took care of my allergies, and I will See you folks on the other side.
I keep swinging for the fences. It's like this heart is defenseless against a passion that's pumping through my veins. Blood, sweat, tears, it's a calling. And if I can't walk, then I'm crawling. It might flicker, but they can't kill the flame.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. you'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Keep swinging for the fences. It's like this heart is defenseless against a passion that's pumping through my veins. Blood, sweat, tears, it's a calling. And if I can't walk, then I'm crawling. It might flicker, but they can't kill the flame. I can't stop, I can't quit.
All right, thank y'all for hanging in there with me while I paid those radio station bills. Now, there's been a lot of talk about North Korea and peace for years. Do I even need to mention my own personal audio clip collection on North Korea? And I'm glad that there is diplomacy being used. Now, this doesn't mean that North Korea is any less despicable. It just means they may have finally come to their senses and decided that maybe this isn't the right way to go. And by all means. Now, moving on. Away from North Korea. Is the Iran nuclear deal about to die? Well, it looks like Trump is going to decertify it. And that would not be a good thing for the deal itself. Because remember, its actual name is the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA. It's a lot to say, so it's the Iran nuclear deal. Now, what happens if Trump decertifies? Well, everybody thinks he's going to. So, first of all, what is the certification? All right, let's take a look at what really happens. All right. He's going to decertify the deal because it's not in the best interest of the United States. So, what would happen? Remember, it's P5+1. So there's 6 countries, at least, if not more, involved. So the certification is every 90 days. And the president is certifying that Iran is transparently, verifiably, and fully implementing the agreement, including all related technical and or additional agreements. That Iran has not committed a material breach, and Iran has cured the material breach. if it committed one, that Iran has not taken any action, including covert activities, that could significantly advance its nuclear weapons program. And that the suspension of sanctions related to Iran pursuant to the agreement is appropriate and proportionate to the specified and verifiable measures taken by Iran. Like I said, so what happens? Okay. It would be a major political and diplomatic chaos. But there will be no automatic consequences in terms of U.S. implementation of the agreement. So it's a big deal on the world diplomatic stage, but it's not like the stars are going to fall out of the sky, suddenly missiles are going to fly overhead. No. He'd be able to reinstate sanctions. Now, here's the problem with this sanctions noise. Everyone says, well, they're snapped back. No, they're not. When Iran was sanctioned previously, most of the Western world agreed with it. Snapback sanctions would be just us. They would have a lot less teeth. Now, if we decertify, would the whole deal fall apart? That is essentially what Marcon and all the others in the EU and that are part of the deal are talking about. Now, this could also create the situation to renegotiate the JCPOA, although no one wants to deal with it. Trust me. The deal that was reached, and you know my opinion, it's not worth the paper it was printed on. Now, like I said, it is going to be a problem if it's decertified. It does not mean we're going to war with Iran. It does not mean anything is going to change day to day. Now, Rouhani, gotta love Iranian politicians. Oh yeah. They're just a hoot. Well, Rouhani is saying that the United States doesn't have a say in the deal, and that we aren't allowed to make any changes. But at the same time, he's saying we're not going to change or add anything. So then you have people who go, the deal's working, why change it? It's not working. It's working in the fact of they're not enriching more uranium. I'll grant you that one. It is not working in the fact of they aren't working on missile strategy. They have. They've gone about it in other ways. But trust me, they're working on it. I've told you many times, remember that those billions of dollars in cash that Obama put on a plane? Where do you think a lot of that landed? I'm willing to bet it was Pyongyang. Now, after 35 years of mistrust between Tehran and the United States, there was no goodwill to deal with other issues. It took years to even get the nuclear deal. And our European partners never doubted that piling on any other issue like Hezbollah or Syria would have broken the coalition, pressuring Tehran, or run out of time, and left us with war. So, I am going to say that Iran is living up to certain parts of the nuclear deal. They are not enriching uranium, at least not in a site that we are aware of. But remember, Iran is in Syria. Syria is building underground nuclear reactors as we speak. So what's to say that Syria isn't helping Iran make nuclear weapons? What's to say North Korea isn't helping Iran? The Hwasong-15 can land on U.S. soil from North Korea. Are you ready to see Iranian versions of the Hwasong-15 or imports with a new sticker slapped on them in Iran's hands? I'm not. Now, I don't want to see us toss away anything that's working, but I also feel that the deal isn't working. Remember that sentence I read about covert activities? I think they have broken that. I don't have the intelligence to prove it. So, who knows? But I'm willing to say that's what's probably going on. Now, I've got a couple of other topics that don't warrant a whole segment on their own, but we're going to just do what else is going on in the world. Among the dozens of Russian diplomats the U.S. expelled last month were suspected spies. No surprise there. In at least one instance, the suspected Russian spies were believed to be casing someone who was part of a CIA program that provided new identities to protect resettled Russians. Of course, the CIA, the White House, and the Russian embassy aren't talking. But when you look at the Skripal incident, where Sergei Skripal and his daughter were poisoned, what's to say that couldn't happen here? Now, that was a very amusing topic. Like I said, they did a good job in kicking out the spies. They kicked out some diplomats and caught some spies in their fishing net. Way to go. All right, United States Special Operations Command, or USASOC, said that Air Force gunships needed to provide close air support for American commandos and U.S.-backed rebel fighters in Syria were being jammed by adversaries. The electronic warfare environment in Syria is the most aggressive on Earth. They are knocking down communications, disabling AC-130s, all with their jamming techniques. Now, don't forget that the AC-130 was among the U.S. military aircraft to kill dozens of Russian mercenaries in Syria in February. However, these mercenaries weren't just sitting down having dinner and relaxing. They were working with Daesh and other terrorist groups. Because remember, Assad doesn't necessarily see Daesh or ISIS as a terrorist group. He's more likely to call out the Kurds. I thought that was an interesting take on things. Almost done, and I am almost out of time. Now, I do have a couple other things, and while they were germane, I didn't want to detail them. So we're going to just go over the next one. U.S. Navy Admiral Harry Harris, Jr., head of PACCOM, is rumored to be the nominated to be the head, is seen as the next, already nominated to be the next U.S. ambassador to Australia. Maybe going to South Korea instead. Yep. Admiral Harris. Now, I've got a couple of Harris clips here. Let's see what I can find. I know I got a good one. I promise I'll get you one in just a second. Because I've got some Harris. Here we go.
During his despotic regime, Kim Jong-un has tested more missiles than his father and grandfather combined. And he's on a record pace to conduct more tests in 2017 than in any other year. In fact, the July 4th ICBM launch by North Korea was its 10th ballistic missile test event this year. Yet another reminder that North Korea is not only the most immediate threat to our alliance, but also a clear and present danger to global peace and stability. Let me emphasize that word, global.
Yep, that is none other than Admiral Harris. I thought that was a cool clip. But yes, that is the person he is wanting to put in South Korea. So he does have a good grip on the situation. In fact, here's his take on Kim Jong-un.
During his despotic regime, Kim Jong-un has tested more...
It looks like the same sound clip twice. Sorry about that, folks. I just had it tagged wrong. Haven't been through this section in a while. Been a while since I needed it. Trust me, it's always waiting in the wings. Here's one more Harris clip. Found one more. But I think Harris would be a good ambassador to Korea for none other than the fact that he has a good grip on the situation. He understands what's going on. No one needs to sit him down and explain why North Korea is a bad actor on the world stage. And as much as I love telling the president, appoint anyone you want, just remember, you need to appoint someone who actually knows what's going on and can understand the puzzle pieces. And unfortunately, not everyone can. Not everyone gets the puzzle pieces. Now, got a couple of other little tidbits. Thousands of Germans wearing kippas, or yarmulkes, or skullcaps, took part in nationwide rallies on Wednesday evening in support of the Jewish community amid growing concerns about growing anti-Semitism. Jewish groups are trying to harness public outrage about an attack on an Israeli Arab who wore a Jewish cap or a kippah in Berlin as an experiment. He's Arabic, he's Muslim by religion, but he wore the Jewish skull cap because he told a Jewish friend of his, it's okay, just do it. Well, he found out the hard way. It wasn't. He was subjected to verbal abuse by at least 3 people. He was lashed with a belt by a Syrian Palestinian. And all of this was videotaped and put up on the internet. The attack followed reports of people bullying Jewish children in schools. And it prompted the head of the Central Council of Jews, Joseph Schuster, to advise Jews not to wear kippahs in big cities. Now, in Berlin, more than 2,000 people participated in the city's march. Similar rallies were held in Cologne and elsewhere around the country. The march followed a decision by Germany's music industry to scrap its prestigious annual Echo Award after a fight over anti-Semitism. The awarding of this year's Echo Music Prize to a rapper duo accused of reciting anti-Semitic lyrics caused a great deal of outrage. Several previous winners returned their awards in protest. The controversial winners were Kollaga and Farid Bang, whose lyrics included, "I'm doing another Holocaust, coming with a Molotov," and who sing that their bodies are more defined than Auschwitz prisoners. And to me, the Holocaust is not something to be taken lightly. The Holocaust is one of the worst blunders. The fact that the entire world could look the other way. I keep telling myself it couldn't be kept quiet in today's age. And then I see small things that pop up that remind me, maybe it could. I'm not going to go into detail about all this, and it was not my intent to start ranting about the Holocaust. But I did want to mention this. Even though there are anti-discrimination laws on the books in Germany, a number of people who are German have recently been attacked in Europe. Take, for example, France was shocked by the murder of last month of a Holocaust survivor in an anti-Semitic attack. And the UK's main opposition party, Labour Party, is embroiled in an anti-Semitic fight at the moment. Never forget. Never again. This is why the most horrific blight on the world's history needs to be taught in school, needs to be talked about. It may be horrific, but please, don't sweep it under the rug. Now, I have just a fun story to round out my show, because I am aware I am just about out of time. An 86-year-old Ukrainian pilot survived Chernobyl, and he is still flying, even though he flew over the Chernobyl nuclear reactor after the disaster in 1986. He was deployed in a team of 2 pilots and an engineer and a scientist to fly a helicopter over the reactor to measure the temperature and composition of gases inside. So it was a planet-sized tragedy, and he agreed to do it, even though his life would be in jeopardy. All right, folks, I'm gone. I'll catch you tomorrow night.